Good day, everyone. So, this is Reza, and for this session, we are going to talk about another function of management. But before we deal on our topic, I have here a simple quotation from Amit Kalantri. According to Amit Kalantri, providing employment is the best form of social service as it serves you, others, your country, your world, the entire society. So, do you believe on this quotation? What do you think? Okay. Providing employment is actually the best form of social service. Social service because it involves the society, it involves the social aspect in our life, it involves people, and providing employment serves you because without employment, you cannot earn income. Without income, you cannot feed your family. And without the food, we cannot survive. So that is why it is necessary for individual to have employment or trabajo because it serves us. It can help sustain our daily needs through its income. And not just us, but also others. For instance, in a business, you are serving your clients, you are serving your customers, you are serving other people, no? With the goods and services um, provide as part of your job or your employment. And not just only the other people and us, but also our country. And don't you know that one of the source of our tax in our country is employment through income tax, right? And another, employment can boost economic growth. Research shows that employment and economic growth are directly related, meaning the higher the employment, the higher the economic growth. And not just only our country, but around the world. So, for instance, we have our OFW or the overseas Filipino workers who are serving other nations. So, providing employment is the best form of social services as it serves the entire society. So, this time we're going to discuss about another function of management, and this is the staffing in the organization. Staffing in the organization is another major responsibility of managers. Staffing involves appointing qualified people into positions in the organization, ensuring that they are efficient and effective employees. Remember that management involves efficiency and effectiveness in achieving the goals and objectives for the organization. And staffing also involves promoting the growth of the human resource as they continue to work in the company so that managers like you should be able to fill all job positions in the company since a complete body of employees is necessary in the accomplishment of the organization's goals and objectives. So we are here in the concepts of management, particularly the concepts of people management. So the human resource management or the HRM is concerned with how employees are employed and managed in organization. It is defined as the comprehensive set of managerial activities and tasks concerned with developing and maintaining a qualified workforce and human resource in ways that contributes to organizational effectiveness. So take note that every organization acquires the services of people, develops their skills, motivates them to achieve higher levels of performance, and ensures that they continue to maintain their commitment in the organization. Human resource management is not just only applicable to business, but this is true to any type of organization. It could be in the government, education, health, or social action. Thus, human resource management encompasses all activities that involve the organizational workforce. So again, it deals not just only with hiring employees, but also training and development and promoting their growth with the company. So we have here the human resource department. So this is one of the aspect of HRM that deals with employee and development. So this department is the one who will train, who will hire, who will do career development for the employee. So it aims to have a dynamic growth-oriented workforce by unlocking the potential of employees and developing their skills and abilities. So the human resource department includes training and development, no, the employee training, the career development, the performance management, coaching, succession planning, and organization development. As you can see in this picture, comparing the HRD and the HRM, all of these aspects are connected with each other. For instance, the career development, it is connected with the performance management, employee relations, learning and development under the HRD. This is also connected with the organization design, the workforce planning, the hiring process or the recruitment, selection, placement, and the rewards and recognition. So all of this eight, no, like each four aspect of the human resource department and also this aspects under the human resource management are connected with each other. So we have here the human capital management. So the human capital management complements with the HRM as it focuses on providing a strategic approach to managing a company staff. So it organizes comprehensive strategies for the company from the time that employees are hired until their turnover. It also employs succession planning and talent management. It is important that the company should consider what people can contribute to organizational success and emphasizes the importance of people as assets rather than as cost. So we have to consider that human resources are assets. So they contribute greatly towards the achievement of goals and objectives of the certain organization, align with its vision and mission. So here in human capital management, it emphasizes the human resource specialists, the role of human resource specialists as business partners. So they determine the strategic role of the human resource in achieving the goals. So take note, people are assets. So kung walang mga tao, sino ang gagawa ng mga activities? 'Di ba? Hindi naman pwede na hayaan lang yung machine to do those activities. So kailangan pa rin ng human resource. So instead of thinking it as a cost, you have to think for the brighter side. You have to think that human resource are assets. as they contribute in achieving the organizational goals. Another is the talent management. This is one of the aspects of human capital management. So this is the process of attracting highly skilled workers and retaining them in the organizations. So this responsibility tests in all the managers of the organization. So here, the talent management sees the skill, the talent of the workers that can be served as asset for the company or the organization. So talent management involves key human resource functions such as educational attainment, skills, experiences, training, potential, and the personal qualities of employees. So for example, highly reputable universities or colleges engage in talent management. Why? Since they retain a pool of highly skilled faculty, teachers, or professors to attract students no, to enroll in their institutions. 'Di ba kapag malaman natin na yung education na binigay ng school na to, no, because of the high quality instructions of the faculty, and the faculty there is marunong talaga magturo, 'di ba? So you as a student, you will be attracted to enroll that school, right? Another case, kung ang business na ito is maganda yung quality ng service ng kaniyang human resource or ng kaniyang for example, customer service or empleyado, 'di ba as customer, we want no more to engage in this company or to purchase goods or services from this company, 'di ba? So that is the importance of the talent management. So another is the knowledge management. So from the talent, it's more on the educational attainment, the skills, the talent that may contribute no, towards the success of the company. Here, another it is one aspect of human capital management. So the knowledge management involves the effective and integrated approach in identifying, capturing, evaluating, retrieving, and sharing a company's information assets. So aside from the documents and databases, the biggest source of knowledge is the expertise of employees. Yung expertise nila. So this is why the knowledge management should take care of employees who provide the expertise and skills to meet organizational goals. Instead of relying to the databases, no, we have to consider the expertise, the knowledge of the employees in order to achieve the organizational goals and as well as the objectives for the organization. So now this time, we are going to discuss now the nature of staffing. So the nature of staffing is related to the concept of the people management. So it may be easy for a business owner to handle a small firm with only a handful of employees, right? However, as the business grows, kapag lalaki na yung business nyo, company operations will be harder to manage. Bakit? Kasi marami ng mga key position at saka mga functions na bakante na kailangan mo i-fill in as one of your responsibility, no? As one of the responsibility of the human resource management. So that is why staffing is also known as human resource management. So they involve acquiring and developing human resources that will carry out and perform the various activities of the organization. Staffing includes recruiting, selecting, training, and developing people in the organization. Apart from hiring people into the organization, the company also engages in human resource management and utilizes various tools and techniques. So gumagamit talaga siya ng various tools and techniques to promote employee loyalty, satisfaction, and personal growth within the company. So that is why staffing is a continuous process. Because yung staffing, it involves never-ending need to find, hire, and develop talents for the company. Kasi, for example, no, kung mag-grow na yung business mo, you need to hire more human resource or more manpower than develop their talents for the company. So another naman, what if yung isang worker mo is mag-resign? No, mag-resign. So, hahanap ka rin naman ng kapalit niya. So, mag-hire ka rin at after you hire that employee, you train him or develop his or her talents for the sake of the organization. So, what if magre-retire na itong worker na ito? So, papalitan mo na rin naman, no? So, mag-hire ka rin, i-train mo yung bagong hire na employee, at saka i-develop mo yung talent for the organization. So, ganyan yung staffing. So, continuous yung process niya. So, hindi naman always na yung employees is mag-i-stay sa company. May iba dyan na magli-leave. So, others are there for the experience or pangsamantala lang. Pero meron din namang iba na that will stay forever. That will stay no for a long period of time. Pero darating din ng araw na magre-retire siya at hahanapan mo rin ng kapalit yung worker na yon. That is why, no? Staffing is a continuous process. Now, let's proceed with the Human Resource Department. The Human Resource Department is tasked with implementing human resource management in the company. So, sila yung department na mag-handle ng human resource management. So, the activities of the Human Resource Department include the primary functions and activities of human resource management, such as human resource planning, job analysis, recruitment and hiring, training and development of employees, performance appraisal, and also management, compensation, and employee relations. So the HRD is also responsible for ensuring that the company complies with workplace safety standard and labor and employment laws. Especially na sa isang country, meron talagang tinatawag na standard, no? Standard safe workplace, no? Safety standard. Importante talaga na ma-ensure mo na safe yung workplace condition ng company mo or ng organization niyo. At saka meron din tayong tinatawag na labor laws na kailangan nating sundin. For example, yung pagbigay ng sapat na sweldo para sa iyong mga manggagawa or sa iyong mga workers, or pagbigay ng sweldo on time. And the Human Resource Department, no, is involved with the staffing process. So, the first staffing process is the human resource planning. So, the human resource planning, no, identifies people with the right skills and assigns them corresponding tasks in the company. So, another is the recruitment, selection, placement, new employee orientation, training, and development. So, this is actually the part of the hiring process, no? Staffing is different with the hiring, no, process. Kasi pag sinabi nating staffing process, yan yung mga activities na ini-engage ng human resource management. Ito, yung recruitment, selection, placement, new employment orientation, training and development is the hiring process. Ito na yung hiring process. So, before mag-hire yung human resource management, kailangan muna sila ng human resource planning. So, pagkatapos sa human resource planning, mag-hire na sila. So, once na tapos na yung hiring process, you have to consider the performance appraisal or evaluation of the performance of your worker. Kung efficient ba yung worker mo, effective ba siya in doing his or her job for the sake of achieving the organizational goals. At saka, magbibigay ka rin ng reward system, no, for those employees with good performance. At saka meron ding employee movements at saka employee relations. So later on, I will discuss, no, each of this staffing process. So take note that staffing process is crucial for the achievement of organizational goals. So we have here the human resource planning. Ito yung first step. So as I've said, it identifies people with the right skills and assigns them corresponding tasks in the company. So in human resource planning, dito kayo mag-identify ng kung ano yung right number na kailangan yung i-hire at saka ano yung right skills na kailangan nyo para sa mga tasks that involves by the company. So, yung human resource planning is very critical. It is a critical component in determining the organization's manpower. So, bakit? Because it complements, no, the number of people that are currently employed in the organization. So, kailangan tama lang yung number of people na i-hire mo para hindi magkakaroon ng problema para sa imong company. So that is why the human resource planning involves this following process. We have the environmental scanning, the forecasting and estimating the firm's manpower complement, and the gap analysis. So in environmental scanning, so it is crucial for a manager to find out the factors currently affecting the labor market because this can affect the company's recruitment. So if the unemployment is high, yung unemployment, no? Kung mataas yung unemployment, it is very easy to get applicants for positions that do not require several years of experience. However, meron ding mga position na nag-require ng special types of skills and getting applicants in these positions can be difficult. Kasi meron mga position na nagre-require talaga ng specialized skills. For example, accountant. So, hindi naman pwede na mag-hire kayo ng mga tao na hindi CPA or walang knowledge about accounting, di ba? Kasi kapag mag-hire kayo basta-basta without the knowledge of this kind of work, baka magkakaroon ng problema, no, sa pag-achieve ng goals at saka objectives ng inyong kumpanya. So that is why importante talaga yung environmental scanning. Another is the forecasting and estimating the firm's manpower complement. So the status of employment in the organization, especially the number of regular and contractual or temporary employees should be determined. So importante talaga na malaman nyo kung ano yung status ng employment sa inyong organization. Kailangan nyo malaman kung ilan ba yung contractual or ilan ba yung mga temporary employees or ilan ba yung mga regular employees. So here in forecasting, this is done, no, to identify the demand and also the supply of the employees. So importante talaga ang demand at saka yung supply. And also, yung forecasting, malalaman, maproproject nyo yung demand, no, and supply in the labor market while considering the manpower requirements, the internal supply of employees, and possible external source of employees. So, yan yung forecasting. So, you really have to identify, no, kung ilan na ba yung um, regular or contractual or temporary employees nyo, at saka i-identify nyo rin kung ilan lang yung katamtamang demand, no, for your company, no, to hire. At saka kailangan nyo rin malaman yung supply nyo of employees. And another is the gap analysis. So this is done to determine if there is a gap or difference between demand and supply in human resources. Kaya nga tinatawag siya na gap, di ba? So kung merong kulang na mga workers or if there is a shortage of workers, the firm may opt to allow or encourage overtime work. So magpa-overtime sila or mag-hire sila ng temporary or contractual na mga workers. So it may also choose to outsource and allow a third party to perform the certain functions of unfilled positions. So here, kung meron namang surplus of employees, may possibility na kailangan mong i-trim down yung number nila to achieve the desired manpower complement. So there is a possibility na magtatanggal ka ng employees or ipapa-lay off mo. So one option here is to offer early retirement. Pwede rin mag-o-offer ka ng early retirement program for those who are already near the retirement age. Like, kasi yung retirement age natin sa Pilipinas is 60, di ba? 60 years old. So, take note that one cause of employee surplus is redundancy, or ito yung mga certain positions na hindi na talaga kailangan ng company. So, this is maybe due to automation where technology is napapalitan na ng technology yung task na ipe-perform ng employee. Especially now na yung world natin is more on advanced technology na. So in this case, employees with redundant positions may be laid off. So may possibility na matanggal sila sa trabaho. So another option naman to address surplus or yung sobra na employees is by implementing hiring freeze. Alam nyo ba yung hiring freeze? So, pag sinabi nating hiring freeze, this is where yung recruitment at saka yung hiring of new personnel are halted or stop muna. Sa hiring freeze is hindi mo na mag-hire yung organization. So, kaya nangyayari yung hiring freeze. So, if you notice, may mga company or may mga organization na bakit hindi na sila nag-hire? So, maybe because puno na yung job position nila. Hindi naman sila pwede na mag-hire ng sobra. Kasi number one, dagdag cost. And another is, meron na siyang tinatawag na redundancy. 'Di ba? So, kailangan equal lang talaga yung supply, no? At saka demand ng workforce. So, dapat nasa sa equilibrium. Okay, so that is more on the gap analysis. So now let's proceed with the job analysis. So this is the procedure of determining the duties and skills requirements for a job or position, as well as the other qualifications sought for in an employee or applicant. So the following information can be collected through job analysis. We have the specific tasks and activities. So, ano bang meron dito? Yung mga activities na kailangan for this kind of position. Yung required behavior on the job. It is more on the workplace behavior or ethics na kailangan sa performance of the job concern. For example, dapat honest ka or dapat meron kang sense of integrity. 'Di ba? So that is the required behavior on the job. Then another yung required job standards. Dito, this refers to the performance levels of or the standards requires for the job. These are used as basis when evaluating the performance of employees. If you notice, may mga company na kailangan talaga yung report mo or report for your performance evaluation. Iba nga, meron nga tinatawag na IPCR or individual performance, no, from that certain, from their previous employment or um, organization. Kasi dyan malalaman kung gaano ka ka-effective or efficient when doing your work, at saka dyan din malalaman yung performance mo in doing your prior work experience. 'Di ba? So, yan yung required job standards. At saka yung knowledge and tools and equipment use. So this takes into account the knowledge on software applications, accounting procedures, laws, and other relevant information. So kailangan talaga sa job analysis, kailangan nyo talagang i-take note kung ano bang skills, no, ang kailangan for this kind of job position. So, kailangan nyo i-indicate na dapat yung applicant is marunong gumamit ng software application, marunong gumamit ng, for example, Photoshop, if you need an editor, or marunong mag-accounting. So, yan yung sa knowledge, tools, and equipments use. And another is yung work conditions. So, this include the physical aspects of the job, such as yung mga work schedules and physical environment. So, for example, yung sales representative. So, yung sales representative requires sila na mag-field, no, na mag-field outside of the company's premises. While yung production operator naman, kailangan naman sila na mag-perform ng task sa factory. So, kailangan talaga i-specify mo yung work conditions. Kasi there is a possibility na yung potential applicant, pag hindi niya nalaman yung work conditions, and isa pa, kapag ma-hire nyo siya, what if meron siyang health problems with this kind of work condition? Diba? So, that is an importance of collecting, no, information with regards to the work condition. No? So, kailangan nyo talaga i-emphasize kung ano ba yung work condition ng ganitong klaseng trabaho. At saka yung personal characteristics and requirements. So, this includes the educational background. So, iba siya sa behavior ha, kasi yung behavior is how you are going to handle the job or the way you act for that job. This personal characteristics and requirements, this is more on your background, like your personality, no, your physical characteristics, yung educational background mo, yung training experience mo, yung personality type, yung attitude, yung values, at saka yung physical, as I've said, physical characteristics needed for the position. For example, sundalo. 'Di ba sa sundalo kailangan at least 5 flat. So kapag ikaw 4'11 or less than 5 feet, so hindi ka qualified for that job, 'di ba? So, yun, no? Kailangan din 'yan. And meron ding ibang trabaho na kailangan yung pleasing personality. That is why, no, in job analysis, it's really important to identify, no, this certain information. Kasi para makita mo kung sino yung potential applicant that are suited for this kind of job position given this information. Okay? Another here is the goals of the job analysis are identified by the company. So large organization often require the job analysis be done on many positions. So here are the following techniques that can be used, no, in conduction of job analysis. So we have here the observation, the interview, the questionnaire, and also the logbook. So yung observation, no, the analyst actually observe, no, the jobs as they are being performed. So for example, the time and motion study, no, of a job analysis that utilizes the observation method. So it's more on using the observation. Another is yung interview, no? Itong interview, it requires face-to-face, no? Interaction between the job analyst and the employee. So, kasi sa interview, bakit kailangan pa ng interview? Because in just that kind of interview, malalaman mo kung ano ba talaga siya klase, no? Ano ba talaga siyang klase na employee in the future. So since it creates a venue for more pleasant interaction, it also provides, no, an opportunity for the job analyst to personal clarify certain information with that employee. Then another technique is the questionnaire. Here, this is the least, no, expensive technique for data gathering. The analyst here prepares a questionnaire about relevant information regarding the job, such as the duties and responsibilities, yung working conditions, equipment use, and other requirements. The questionnaire, no, you have to take note that the questionnaire that you are going to formulate should be very easy to answer. And the information gathering here is less tedious since the questionnaire naman is distributed to a large number of employees at the same time. Pero ang disadvantage lang sa questionnaire is may mga times na hindi accurate yung mga responses ng employees, no? Kasi depende yan sa kanilang mood or sa kanilang ability to understand the questions and also to effectively communicate the responses. So, yan din yung flaws ng questionnaire. And the last technique is the logbook. So, actually, this is a good, no, source of data on employee duties, the frequency of performance of these duties, and the span of time over for each one. So recording tasks and activities into a logbook is a good way to keep track of the conduct of a certain job, no, and its progress over a certain period. So sa logbook, malalaman mo talaga kung sino ba yung palaging late, kung sino ba yung nagtatrabaho palagi, or sino ba yung maganda yung performance sa trabaho. So this is actually a good, no, source for job analysis. So, take note na wala namang best method, no, in implementing a job analysis. So, here, analysts usually employ, no, combination of techniques. Pwede rin itong lahat. If you have more resources or time to do all of this technique in conducting your job analysis. Or pwede rin gumamit ka ng interview at the same time questionnaire or logbook at the same time interview and so on. So, pwede rin naman a combination of these techniques. So, sa job analysis, no, data gathered, no, from the job analysis is used, no, to formulate the job description. But we have to follow, no, the essential parts. So, of course, yung job title. So, it describes the exact name of the job like human resource manager or human resource assistant or production manager. Then another yung reporting relationships. It includes the job title for the position's immediate supervisor. For example, in the case of a human resource manager, the immediate supervisor may be the vice president for human resources or a human resource director. So you have to indicate, no, the reporting relationship, which includes the subordinates under the employee's supervision. So for instance, a human resource manager may supervise human resource supervisors for different areas like recruitment, training and development, compensation and benefits, and employee relations. Then another one is the job classification. So this provides the rank of the job in comparison to the overall importance of the other job. So kailangan mo talaga siyang i-classify, no, comparing with the other jobs. So classification provides, no, the rank, no, of the job in comparison to the overall importance of the other job. So you have to classify it. And another important part is the general description of the job. Like it provides the description of the job, and maybe you can add an overview of its duties and responsibilities. Then another essential part is the specific duties and responsibilities. It describes the specific functions of the job. Like ano ba talaga yung role para sa job position na ito. So usually the specific function starts with a verb. Alam niyo ba yung verb? Yun yung action word, 'di ba? To show an element of action, no? Kailangan talaga ipakita nyo na um, the element of the action. So, for example, assist, yung assist, no? It is an action word. It is a verb, no? Assist the Vice President for Human Resources in the implementation of human resource policies and procedures. So that is an example, no, of identifying the specific duties and responsibilities. So ganyan. So for example, sa teacher, teach students in according to the lessons provided in the syllabus. So, teach is a verb. So, kailangan talaga yung verb, no? You have to start with a verb in order to specify the duties and responsibilities. And lastly, yung job specification. Dito, it provides yung mga minimum qualifications for a particular jobs. Like, ano ba yung kailangan for this kind of jobs? In terms of the educational background, for example, kailangan college graduate, experience, skills, and personal qualities. So, another is the recruitment. So, after ma-conduct yung human resource planning, like meron na kayong job analysis, alam nyo na kung anong klaseng employee ang i-hire nyo para sa ganitong job position. So, you can post na, no? You can post hiring, or you can post that your company or organization is hiring. So, ang tawag dyan is recruitment. So, this is the process, no, of attracting qualified applicants to occupy vacant positions. So, yan yung recruitment. Mag-a-attract kayo through posting jobs in the internet or in job fairs. So here, applicants are required to fill out the company's form and submit to a selection process that requires tests, interviews, and a background check. So here, ito yung sa recruitment, no, it involves mga activities that entice and influence qualified applicants to work with the company. To ensure the success of recruitment, management must know the goals, no, of the organization and the reasons for hiring people. Next, the company should think of prioritizing jobs depending on the kind of job performance needed for the vacant position. So, for example, a company that wishes to fill in positions that do not require much skill or expertise may decide to focus on hiring candidates with average skills. So, take note that in recruitment, meron tayong dalawang klase na applicants na pwedeng mag-apply for these certain job positions. Number one is yung internal applicant. Yung internal applicant, sila yung employees, no, yung applicant na empleyado na for this certain company or for this certain organization. Part na sila ng organization and they are considered for the promotion, no, to a certain higher position. At saka, another type is yung external applicants. So, these are the individuals who are recruited by the company or directly apply to join the company. Yung external applicants is hindi pa part ng company. So, merong times na yung pag-hiring ng isang company is solely for the internal applicants lang. So, meaning sa employee lang of this company. So, meron ding chances, no, especially kapag hindi makita ng company yung hinahanap niya na potential employee for this jobs position, pwede siya mag-hire ng external applicants. Yung mga applicants na hindi pa part ng organization. So, usually, yung external applicants is makukuha sila during job fairs or mga trade events, no, that are held in large public venues and attract many job hunters. So they can also participate in campus job fairs organized by colleges and universities if they are looking for fresh graduates. So that is why some companies no recruit and hire employees through referrals. Alam niyo ba yung referrals? Yung parang may backer or recommendations, no? So, where their own employees recommended suitable applicants. So, ito talaga, totoo to, no? So, may mga companies, they only posted this vacant job position for formality. Pero in the reality, meron na talagang naka-fill in na applicant dyan. So, pinost lang nila for formality. And usually, nangyayari talaga yan, no? Especially sa mga government na agency. Especially kapag regular yung position. Kasi meron mga internal applicants na contractual pa or hindi regular or temporary. So, instead na mag-hire sila from the external applicants na kailangan mo pang i-train, kailangan mo pang turuan, no? At saka kailangan mo pang mag-adjust, no? For this kind of work, why not, no? Hiring the internal applicants na, especially those mga contractuals or mga temporary, at least familiar na sila sa organization. And this is actually true, no? And meron ding iba is based on the backer system. So, kung sino yung mas lakas or kung sino yung mas kilala, no? Sila talaga yung ma-hire. Kasi, of course, no? Some companies would think na, kilala ko na ito, alam ko na yung personality nito, magaling tong bata na ito, or magaling to na person, no? To do this kind of job. So, I will refer this one for this position. So, may iba talaga na na-hire through referrals. So maganda din yung referrals, at least alam mo na yung personality ng tao na yan, di ba? Or alam mo na kung sino talaga siya. So kailangan nga, no, part of the recruitment process is kailangan na may tinatawag tayo na recommendation or recommendator. So may mga companies na tinatawagan yung recommendators nyo, no, to determine kung anong klaseng pagkatao yung applicant na ito for this certain job position. So, ito, equal employment, no? So, take note na may mga issues talaga, no? Mostly it happens on the companies. And this can be considered, no, during the recruitment stage. So, foremost among them is equal employment opportunity, which ensures that an applicant is not discriminated against because of his or her age, color, race, religion, civil status, or gender. So companies are now careful about imposing age requirements for certain positions or having preferences for graduates from certain colleges or universities. Actually, this is true, no? May mga companies is when they post vacant position as part of their recruitment, meron talagang age limit. No? Ngayon is madalang na lang yung age limit because age doesn't matter as long as you have the skills, you have the expertise, you can do the job, 'di ba? So meron pa ring iba na nag-i-indicate sila ng age limit. At saka yung gusto nila is nasa legal age at saka yung gusto nila is hindi gaanong matanda. 'Di ba kasi kapag bata is more on physically fit na no at saka na nandyan na rin sa tamang pag-iisip. So another companies also discriminate, no? So porket maitim ka or porket morena ka, hindi ka na fit for this company. So yan yung ina-address ng equal employment opportunity. So dapat it it considers no equal treatment among the applicants. So meron ding iba yung based sa religion, 'di ba? Kapag ganito yung religion mo, ekes ka na agad. Although you have the capability no to do that the tasks or responsibilities of that job position. And also sa civil status, meron ding iba no, iba na recruiter na kailangan talaga single, no? Dapat hindi married. So, 'di ba, it discriminates, no? It involves discrimination. Or meron din iba is nag-propose sila, no, based sa gender na kailangan talaga male or female jud. But there are jobs naman na nag-require talaga na dapat male lang, no? Kasi why not hindi kaya sa female or why not na there is a possibility na this work is for males only or for females only. But now dinidiscourage yan because we have gender equality na no, gender equality movement at saka marami ng mga organizations ang nag-raise no for that kind of movement, 'di ba? So this is the equal employment no opportunity, no principle of equal employment. So pagkatapos ng recruitment no, so deadline na ng recruitment stage. So that is the end where the participants no will submit requirements no or application for the job position. So this time is we're going to proceed with the selection. So dito, the selection no starts no when applicants so qualify after preliminary screening schedule for the preliminary interview and psychological testing conducted by the Human Resource Department. So dito na yung judgment no kung sinong applicant yung pipiliin for this kind of job position, 'di ba? So, yung selection, nag-involve sila din ng mga psychological test kasi mahirap na, 'di ba? Kailangan talaga i-test on how intelligent you are, your personality, as well as your aptitude, no? Or like how you understand this kind of instruction or this kind of work. So, number one is yung mental ability test or intelligent quotient test. So, this tests the general knowledge of a certain applicant. So, importante talaga yan, no? So, this test consists of questions on linguistics and numerical abilities and abstract reasoning. Para kayong nag-entrance exam nito, 'di ba? And another is the aptitude test. So, this measures specific abilities and the applicant's inclination, to succeed in a particular field like engineering, encoding, sales, mga clerical tests, and etc. So, importante talaga yung aptitude test para malaman natin kung si applicant na ito is expert, no, enough for this kind of field. So, meron talagang aptitude test. Then, yung personality test, it measures the aspects, no, of behavior, like yung cooperation mo or how initiative you are, yung initiative mo, no, tinitest dito, yung pagiging responsable mo, or sociability, kung introvert ka ba or extrovert ka ba. So, yan yung sa personality test. Actually, once the applicants pass the initial testing, they are sent to the requisitioning department for the further interviews. Alam nyo ba yung requisitioning department? So, yung requisitioning department, no, processes the request, no, to fill in vacancies in the company. So in the meantime, yung human resource department, they are going to conduct background check. So ano ba yung background check? So dito, chine-check, no, ng human resource department, syempre yung background ng applicant. Like saan siya nakatira, or ano ba yung mga attitude niya or personalities niya. Kaya some analysts or some human resource officer or um, assistant human resource manager, so parang ganon, they are going to call, no, the recommendators and ask kung anong klaseng pagkatao yung applicant na ito, or they are going to search, no, to do background check of this kind of applicant. So, pagkatapos na magawa ng requisitioning department yung final selection, so yung job is ma-offered na talaga sa chosen na candidate, sa karapat-dapat na candidate. So if it is accepted, the candidate is briefed about the position and its responsibilities and also yung starting salary. So dito na ninyo malalaman yung ano ba yung nature ng job, or ano ba yung magiging salary mo, and etc. So, after na ng selection, nakapili na si Human Resource Department ng applicant for this job position, is ang next step is yung placement. The placement is the last part, no, of the hiring process. So, when the candidate accepts the job offer, yung next step niya is yung submission, no, of pre-employment requirements, like the transcript of records, yung NBI clearance, pati rin police clearance, barangay clearance, mga clearance, certificates, and even the other documents. Meron ding case na yung candidate is mag-undergo ng medical test or examination to see kung yung applicant, no, or candidate is physically fit, no, enough to do the job for the company. So I think halos lahat ng organization, they require medical examination, especially kapag yung position is for regular or for regular employee, no? So, as I've said, mag-undergo sila ng medical examination. So, after the submission of pre-employment requirements and the result of the medical exam, so kasi dyan is, i-validate pa yung mga requirements. So, the candidate is officially hired and signs the employment contract. So, magpipirma na sila ng employment contract between the employer and you as the officially hired employee. So what if, ma'am, kung i-deny ni candidate yung job offer kasi may opportunity na dumating sa kanya. So ano mangyayari sa human resource? Ang mangyayari is if for example si candidate is nag-decline, ang mangyayari is yung sunod na the second candidate no next for this candidate siya na lang yung tatawagin ulit no ng human resource management, like you are going to hire no or to select rather the second no best or second place applicant. So the second place applicant is the same no, kailangan din i-require na mag-submit ng pre-employment requirements like this one at saka mag-undergo ng medical examination. So, kapag natanggap na yung pre-employment requirements at saka yung result ng medical exam, so, officially hired na yung candidate or yung applicant. Then, magsasign na ng employment contract. So, after the placement is yung training and development. So, kailangan mong matrain no, muna about the job. Diba? So, this is organized activity that increases and enhances employees' knowledge and skills on their job to improve their current performance. And another is the development. So in the development, when we say development, this is the enhancement of the competencies. You are going to develop or you're going to improve the competencies of the employees. No? How? By giving them opportunities for greater responsibility as well as more challenging tasks that will help them achieve their total growth. So in order for a person to have a career development or career growth, kailangan mo talagang no, i-enhance yung competencies mo. How? By giving you no, opportunity for a challenging task. So as employee or as person of this company, you have to take risks no, in doing the challenge. Kasi para din yan sa ikabubuti mo in order for you to grow. No? Kasi kung mag-i-stay ka lang dyan, walang growth na mangyayari. Di ba? So you have to move or you have to go beyond. Okay? So another is yung after na ma-train at saka yung ma-develop yung competencies mo, we proceed with the new employee orientation program. So the initial training of newly hired employees includes an orientation. Meron talaga yung orientation. Pero may ibang mga organization wala ng orientation. Pero importante talaga, not just only for businesses, but even in other organizations, importante talaga na merong orientation para malaman ng newly hired employees yung patakaran ng ng ganitong kumpanya or ganitong organization, 'di ba? So the new employee orientation program aims to provide new employees with relevant information about the company. This includes the company's history, vision and mission, culture, products and services, provided work hours, dress code, and company policies. No? Especially kapag yung company na pinapasukan mo is stricto, hindi ka lang pwede na mag-dress ng like magsusuot ng informal dress. So dapat pala formal dress. So kailangan mo malaman yung dress code. Or di ka rin pwede malate, no? Kailangan mo rin malaman yung working hours. So kailangan talaga yung orientation. So the program also introduces new employees to their immediate superior and co-employees with the department. So lastly, the members of top management are introduced. Some companies with big manufacturing plants permit new employees to do an ocular visit of the facility. So importante talaga yung employee orientation program. So now, let's proceed with the training process no, as part of the training and development. So, importante talaga yung training, no? And take note that training is an important investment. Investment that a company can make with their employees. So, actually, merong process yung training. So, number one is yung pre-training assessment. So, take note that importante talaga yung pag-conduct ng initial assessment with regards to the needs of employees before training is conducted. Pre-training assessment allows the trainer to identify which aspects of the trainees need improvement. Saan bang aspect na kailangan niya ma-improve? After the assessment, the objectives of the training program are formulated. Take note ha, yung objectives kailangan SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, at saka time-bound. So, training objectives, yung mga training objectives are translated into the expected changes and improvements that must be displayed by the trainees at the end of the program. After the pre-training assessment, no, is the designing the training program. So, the training program identifies the training methods to be used, the time frame for implementation, the dates and venues, the evaluation methods, resource persons or speakers, and the training costs. So here, the trainer can employ a variety of training techniques, which I will show you later. And the training techniques chosen by the trainer depends also with the training objectives. So actually, when you are going to be employed in this organization, there are several trainings that you are going to experience, and that is for the benefit, no, of yourself, particularly your growth, and at the same time for the benefit, no, of the company. So after the design is the implementation. No, when you have already the design of your training, you need to do the implementation. At this stage, the trainer delivers the training program utilizing the selected techniques. The trainer or training officer is an important component to the success of the training implementation. An effective trainer is one who possesses the following characteristics. Kailangan meron siyang enthusiasm and passion regarding the topic. Kasi kung wala siyang passion at saka wala siyang enthusiasm regarding the topic, magiging boring yung training niyo. 'Di ba? And another is has a good working knowledge of the topic. Kailangan knowledgeable yung trainer niyo. Kasi kung yung trainer niyo is not knowledgeable enough, how can you learn? No? How will you learn? No, from the training. And also, this characteristics, no, includes that the trainer should be a motivator and encourage participation from the trainees. Of course, kailangan ma-engage ng trainers yung mga participants, no, about this kind of training. Kasi this training will serve as their stepping stone, no, in improving their work performance or their selves, 'di ba? So kailangan maging hands-on, no? Maging hands-on, mas hands-on talaga. Mas maganda yung hands-on, no, when doing training. And also kailangan mayroong good sense of humor. Kasi kung wala kang good sense of humor na, boring. Di mo alam yung mga participants mo natutulog na pala, 'di ba? At saka, the trainer should possess good posture and dynamic appearance. So, para pleasing talaga siya sa mata ng mga applicants. So, kapag kayo, magiging trainer kayo, you have to be a good, no, speaker. You have to be a good trainer. So, kaya nga yung mga trainer, usually mga teachers or yung mga motivational speakers, kasi they have the capacity, no, to engage with the trainees, no? So, yung trainees ma-inspire, no, to be trained, no, and they are willing to be trained, no, for this kind of work or training. So, after the implementation, it is really important to do the evaluation. So, in this stage, no, of training process, um, ina-assess yung success ng training. Like, effective ba yung training, no, and the development programs. So, the following criteria for evaluation can be used with reactions, no? Reactions, like, ano ba yung reaction ng mga trainees with regards sa accommodation, program content, yung venue, yung food, at saka yung visual aids, no, from the training. Actually, this is really true, no? May mga employees gusto na mag-training, no? Kasi may food, no? May food, at saka masarap yung food, di ba? Then, yung result ng program, like, ano bang nangyari sa mga trainees na ito? Like, nag-improve ba yung job performance nila? Naging mas productive ba sila or naging mas efficient na? Then, the recall, no? Like, marirecall kaya ng mga participants kung ano yung na-learn nila from the training at saka na-apply ba yung learnings nila in doing their actual work or in improving their actual performance. So take note that a program that is well received, well delivered, and effectively implemented will be easily recalled by the participants. So nakasalalay talaga yan, no, sa trainer. So dapat mag-possess talaga ng good personality yung trainer. At saka lastly, the retrieval. No, it refers to how easily information is recalled, no, from the memory and immediately applied by the participants. So, mayroon tayong tinatawag na 4 R's. No, the reaction, ano yung reaction with regards sa training, yung food, accommodation, and etc. Yung result, like ano ba yung nakukuha ng participant, like ano ba yung outcome ng ganitong training, yung recall, like ano ba yung learnings, no? Or na-learn ng mga participants. At saka ano ba yung magiging actual application ng kanilang learning. At saka retrieval, like na-recall pa ba ng mga participants yung information na tinuro sa during the implementation of the training? So, yun. Okay? So, meron tayong mga different techniques, no, in designing the program. At saka, we have the oldest, yet the most widely used na method, yung lecture. Parang ganito, lecture. No? So, this is the oldest and most popular method of teaching where the trainer or speaker gives speech, explaining a topic or a concept. Lectures are often used in combination with other techniques in training program. Another is we have demonstration. So this is utilized not to show how something works. Like ano ba yung, like it's you are going to demonstrate something. Like paano ba ginawa ang ganitong klaseng work or ganitong klaseng task, or how you are going to perform the task. So a demonstration is accompanied, no, by a lecture to make it more effective. Usually, kino-combine yung lecture at saka yung demonstration. Kasi kung puro lecture lang, at saka, ang boring, di ba? So, dapat meron ding demonstration, no? Then another is computer-based training. This utilizes computer programs to teach knowledge and skills and does not require face-to-face interaction with a trainer. Pwedeng virtual, no? Virtual. Or mayroon ding iba na magbigay lang sila ng instruction. Then, ikaw na bahala. No? Ikaw na bahala just to follow the instruction. So, yan yung computer-based training. So, the internet has provided a wide array for training programs, no, for employees. And many companies now opt to use computer-based trainings instead of lecture-based training. Kasi mas efficient siya, no, compare sa lecture. At least, magbibigay ka lang ng module, then you will do your training, no, in the computer. Mas madali siya. Then, another is program instruction. Actually, parehas lang siya sa computer-based training, pero it's more on the instructional program. Para siya module, no? So, it employs variety of content like yung text, graphics, and multimedia. So, the program is stored in the company system and participants can access the program through a network. So, the participants, no, go through the content of the material, like in the program instructions, and answer the certain tests and perform tasks. So once they pass the test, they are able to proceed to the next level of the training program. Yan yung program instruction. No? Mas maganda sana kung ganito. Sabi na sa online class, no? Like, parang module lang. After you answer this part of the module, you can proceed to the next part. So, parang ganyan. And another is virtual reality. So this is the method that allows participants to experience a 3D, like three-dimensional environment. So this enables the participants, no, to experience like simulation showing possible job situations. So ito yung maganda sa virtual reality. Like para kang nasa actual na scenario. Pero virtual lang pala. Char. So, here, no, it involves mga 3D, no, dimensional environment. So, usually, you conduct this one using your computer or even mga 3D settings. So, para siyang simulations, no, given this certain job situations. Then, the case study. Like, here, this is the method that presents a particular situation, no? And trainees discuss and decide on a solution, no, to an organizational problem highlighted in the case. So the case study usually involves problem, and the problem here is you are going to analyze it, no? By analyzing the facts, and based on the problem and the facts that you've analyzed, you have to formulate alternatives. These alternatives will serve, no, as solution for this problem that you are going to address. And this involves also decision making. Take note of that. Nag-involve siya ng decision making by which you have to choose the alternatives on which alternative is more advantage, no? Is more advantage for this problem. So yan yung case study. So parang nilagay kayo sa isang dilemma or sa isang situation by which you trainees, no, should discuss and decide kung ano ba dapat ang gagawin. Like what alternatives you should choose, no? Or what solution you are going to choose in addressing the organizational problem. So yan yung case study. So another is the role playing, and this is very applicable when doing face-to-face training. Pero pwede na naman siya, no, virtually. Pero you have to make sure you have the resources, diba? So sa role, it really presents actual, no, work situations for analysis, and participants are asked to act out specific roles, no? So para kayong artista nito. But in role playing, you have to act based on this kind of scenario which can be applied, no, in your actual work. And lastly, we have the team building. So ito yung pinakagusto nyo, team building. In team building, it encourages employees to work in groups because in the company, hindi naman kayo mag-isa, no? You are working together. You are working with your colleagues. So these activities provide opportunities for employees to build rapport with their colleagues, enhance their social skills, be sensitive to the feelings of others, and improve overall teamwork in the company. Kasi sa company, it involves people talaga. And you know, you have different personalities, different skills, different expertise. And you have to collaborate with each other through team building, no, in order to achieve, no, the goals for the company. So take note, no, teamwork makes dream work, 'di ba? So team building activities help the organization achieve greater efficiency and productivity in the workplace. So these are the common techniques, no, used by the companies when designing the training program. So ito, no, the compensation and wages. This is one of the motivator factor kung bakit magaganahan mag-work yung employees or masasatisfied yung employees for their job. So when we say compensation, these are any tangible equivalent or reward for services or for the performance of a task performed in the organization. Compensation, no, and wages can be in two forms. It could be direct compensation and indirect compensation. For direct compensation, it is a monetary in nature. So this includes salaries, bonuses, allowances, wages, commissions, and etc. However, when we say indirect compensation, this is non-monetary in nature. This includes hospitalization, summer outings, vacation leaves, and sport fests. So we have here the compensation guidelines. So compensation decisions are influenced, no, by the nature and environment of a particular industry. For example, the pharmaceutical, banking, telecommunication, hotel industries offer attractive compensation packages. So the government also imposes regulations and restrictions of salaries of employees like the minimum wage laws. So as of the March 2015, the minimum wage for the National Capital Region is 481 per day. And here in Iligan City, no, the minimum wage is at most 350, no, 350 per day or parang 330 something. So you may search it on the internet, no? Meanwhile, may iba na mga minimum wage is lower, no? Like minimum wage for the other regions is lower, slightly lower. This is probably because of the cost of living or standard of living. Kasi kapag doon kayo sa Manila, mahal talaga yung goods at saka yung services. Mahal talaga yung mga bilihin doon compared to the other regions or for example compare here in Iligan City, no? So nakadepende rin yung minimum wage laws sa cost of living ng isang lugar. And take note that the minimum wage law is set, no, to protect manual laborers from being taken advantage by the company. So the company, no, should pay right for the labor. So take note that compensation is usually time-based. And also here, salary refers, no, to the compensations given to professionals on a monthly or semi-monthly basis, while wage refers to compensation given on a weekly or daily basis. So yung compensation, usually time-based siya kasi yung payment natin for work, nakabase siya on how many times we work for the company, no? So, time-based siya commonly. Meron ding iba na fix yung compensation. So, kahit sobra sa oras or less than hour ka nagtatrabaho, fixed lang yung sweldo mo. So, ito, no, difference between salary and wage. Actually, the same sila. No, the same sila that they are compensation. Pero yung salary is binibigay siya monthly or on semi-monthly basis. No, and usually sa mga professionals. Pero yung wage, it is compensated given no on a weekly or daily basis. So yan yung pagkakaiba nila. So, base pay, ito na yung fixed, no? Base pay or basic pay is the fixed, no, part of pay, no? And it is the minimum payment for tasks rendered. Now, we have here the different modes, no, of payment, like common modes of payment. We have the payment for time worked, the flat rates, the compensation through incentives, payment based on skills, payment based on knowledge, payment we have here executive payment, no, and special payment. So for the payment for time work, monthly paid employees are those who are paid each day, no, of a particular monthly month, no, including unworked rest days, special days, and regular holidays. So take note that daily paid employees are paid on the basis of the days. Those actually worked and unworked regular holidays. So payments for time worked have adjustment no based of any of these following. So we have here the across the board increase, no? Pay adjustments provided to all employees with the same rate regardless of the rank. So that is the across the board increase. And we have also here the merit increase by which the salary or wage increase given to employees on the basis of performance. So base siya sa imuhang performance. And we have here the COLA or the cost of living allowance. So the cost of living allowance or the COLA is a monetary allowance given to all employees no, to cope with the prevailing conditions of the economy related to the standard of living or the cost of living and increasing prices of commodities due to inflation. Kaya nga mayroon tayong tinatawag na COLA, di ba? So nakadepende siya sa standard of living for this place or cost of living. And take note na yung prices is magi-increase talaga, no? Yung mga bibilihin natin is mag-increase talaga dahil sa due to several factors, no? For example, ngayon, pandemic, and as you notice, most of the goods, no, the price of the goods are increasing, 'di ba? So kailangan dapat no mataas din yung cost of living allowance natin. And another is seniority pay. This is given to employees based on the number of years of service in the company. Siyempre, kung matagal ka na sa company, mas malaki yung seniority pay mo, 'di ba? Kasi matagal ka na sa company. So, it is based on the number of years of service. Whether you are old or whether you are young, as long as you render no number of years of service, you can have this seniority pay. Then we have here the flat rates. So firms with flat rates do not consider skills and seniority as factors for giving compensation rather than companies pay their employees the same amount regardless of rank. So that is why flat, no? Flat yung rates. So, kung ano yung rate ng company, regardless of your rank or regardless of your skills or seniority, kung seniority ka, senior, like your number of years in service, um, the same lang yung compensation, no? The same lang yung amount ng compensation. So, yan yung flat rates. Usually, yung flat rates is nangyayari siya sa mga small companies or sa mga small organizations. Then another is compensation through incentives. So these are the payments based on the output. So ini-incentivize yung output. So the most popular forms of incentive pay are the following. So we have here the merit pay. No, first is the merit pay given in recognition of outstanding performance based on the results of a performance evaluation. The merit pay is a one-time, no, one-time payment lang yung merit pay. Given an incentive for outstanding performance in a certain task or project, or for an outstanding evaluation of job performance within a certain period of time. And another one is the piece rate pay. So, nakabase siya sa product na iyong na-produce. So, it is given no, to employees who are paid a fixed rate per product produced. So, usually may kota-kota sila. No? So, for example, yung mananahi, no, nagtatahi ng mga garments sa factory. So, yung wage nila or yung sweldo nila is nakabase kung ilang pieces ng clothing ang kanilang napoproduce. 'Di ba? So, syempre, kung marami yung napoproduce mo, mas malaki yung kikitain mo. 'Di ba? So, yan yung piece rate pay. So, another is yung commission. So, this is based on achieved quotas. So, this is compensation based, no, on sales quotas. So, yung sa sales, sa sales, no, for example, mga sales agent, binibigyan sila ng quota nga dapat maabot nila yung ganitong sale. So, bibigyan sila dayon ng commission, no? So, depende ra sasabot kung ano yung commissions. So, for example, car companies usually pay their sales representatives a commission for every unit they sell. For example, sa isang sasakyan na mabebenta mo, meron kang 10% na commission. Like, if you sell the car for 1 million, meron kang 100,000. No? So, 10% ng 1 million is 100,000. So, yan yung commission. Okay? Then, another is yung group incentive. So, given to a team that has achieved a particular sales or production target. So, the group is given a commission, no? Kapag na-reach nila yung prescribed target. So, group effort is essential talaga, no, in attaining this incentive, as all members of the team are rewarded, no? So, for example, yung branch na ito is na-achieve yung production target. So, meron silang group incentives, yung branch na yan. Then, the payment based on skills. This is based on the number of skills that the employees gain, no, while working for the company. So, in order to avail of this particular compensation, so as an employee, the employee must require acquire a certain skill prescribed by the company. His or her pay increase is then based on the new skill acquired. So this mode of payment is not widely used in the Philippines because companies prefer to give other compensation packages. So usually sa Philippines it's more on payment based on time work talaga or meron ding flat rates, 'di ba? So ito is based on skills. The more skills you have, the more payment you will receive. And another is the payment based on knowledge or credentials. So this is given to employees who attend seminars and conferences and gain additional knowledge that improve their performance in the company. So take note that continuous learning is one of the motivations for an employee to attend seminars and conferences related to his or her field of expertise. So part din ito ng career development ng employees. So another, we have here the executive payment. From the word itself, executive. So this is given to the chief executive officer or the CEO, the chairman of the board,
And the chief officers, mga executive officers, and other members of top managers. So actually, mataas yung executive payment. Kasi yung success ng organization is nakasalalay sa overall skills ng executive officers. And take note that executive officers are the strategic, no, decision makers. So nasa pinakataas sila. So sila yung nasa kanila nakasalalay yung overall performance ng company or organization. So mataas talaga yung bayad nila. And the special payment from the word itself is special. So this is additional compensation given in special cares. So it includes the following. We have the separation pay. So in the separation pay, it pays the employees who are terminated, no, with authorized cost. And we have here severance pay. So actually, yung severance pay, this is equivalent to a half a month's pay for every year of service. So take note, responsibility talaga ng firm na magbigay ng separation pay, no, sa employees, especially if they are terminated with authorized cause. For example, tinerminate mo yung employee na ito dahil sumobra na yung um, sumobra na yung workforce niyo or hindi na makaya sa company na ma-sustain yung expenses, labor expenses. So, responsibility yan ng company, no, na magbigay talaga ng separation pay. So, for the severance pay, yan yung binibigay, no? Like the half of a month's pay, no, for every year na service. Then, yung retirement pay. Meron tayong retirement pay. Sa retirement pay, yung mga employee na 60 to 65 years old is makaka-receive ng 1/2 month salary for every year of service provided, no, that he or she has rendered for 5 years of continuous service of the company. Pero depende din yan, no, sa number of years na nirender mo na service for that company. So, that can be, no, incorporated in your pension. Then, the 13th month pay. So, all employees are entitled, no, to 13th month pay provided that they have worked, no, for at least 1 month in calendar year. So, this is given, no, not later than December 24 of that particular year. So, kaya ibigay mo na yung Christmas bonus, no? Yan yung sa 13-month pay. So, meron din mga other special payments like overtime payment, no? Kapag nag-overtime ka na mag-work, no? Yeah, like you work beyond 8 hours. So, meron yung overtime pay. So, meron ding holiday pay, no? For an unworked regular holiday based on the employee's daily rate. So, take note, kapag holiday talaga siya, then nag-work yung employee, he is entitled for the double pay, no? Double pay. May mga employees, especially yung mga regular, paid yung holiday nila. So, we have here premium pay. So, the premium pay is a payment given to employees who work during the rest days and also special holidays. Like, they are given additional at least, no, 30%, no, of the basic daily pay given for work performed during the rest days or special holidays. So, if a special holiday is also an employee's rest day and he or she performs work on that day, so entitled siya, no, to have an additional pay of 50%, no? of his basic daily pay. Kung what if rest day niya tapos special holiday, ano ba yung mangyayari sa payment niya? Of course, that employee is entitled for additional 50% no, of payment. So yan yung premium pay. Then we have here the night differential payment. So this is an additional 10% no, of basic rate for each hour of work performed between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So para siyang graveyard. So do you know what's graveyard? Yung nagtatrabaho ka sa gabi hanggang umaga. So yan. Yan yung night differential pay. So mataas talaga siya. Like meron siyang additional percent na pay kasi hindi kasi madali no na mag-work ng tulog yung mga tao or sa gabi, 'di ba? So ginagawa yan ng mga companies or organization para hindi maputol yung operational activity. And we have here the service charge. So I know that you are already familiar about service charge, no? Like ito yung mga fees na charge to cover services, no? Related to the production of a product or a provision of service, like additional charge for a certain service. So we have here also the employee benefits. And employee benefits are divided into two main groups. We have the government mandated and voluntary benefits. So when we say government mandated benefits, these are those required by the law. So nire-require talaga ng law. While voluntary benefits are those that are voluntary given by the company or organization. So we have here the government mandated benefits. So this is according to the law. No, merong SSS or Social Security System kung private. Then Government Service Insurance Systems naman or GSIS kung public. Pero pwede both. Pwede both. Kung meron kang money na pambayad sa SSS at saka sa GSIS, especially when you are employed in a government sector. Then, Employees Compensation Program, meron ding pag-ibig na benefits, PhilHealth na benefits, yung ganitong Service Incentive Leave, Maternity Leave, Paternity Leave, and Special Leave for women. Pero take note ha, marireceive nyo lang yung government mandated benefits like from the compensated from the company kung yung company mo is meron kayong employer-employee relationship. Meaning, ikaw ay isang regular employee ng organization na ito or ng company na ito. But you can also pay no using individual or voluntary under voluntary payment. You can pay your SSS given your own pocket or your own money or pag-ibig or PhilHealth and so on. Pero kapag kayo ay walang employer-employee relationship, like hindi ka empleyado, like totally empleyado ng company na yan or regular employee ng company na yan, you are not really entitled of this benefits from the company. Kasi no employer-employee relationship. Pero pwede kayo mag-individual or voluntary. Another is we have here the voluntary benefits. So these benefits are dependent on the company's ability to provide them and are subject to certain conditions and policies. Nakadepende talaga yan sa company's ability. Kasi mayroong mga company na hindi naman makabigay ng vacation leave or sick leave kasi maliit lang yung kinikita nila. So kapag malaki yung company, mas malaki yung chance that you can receive this voluntary benefit. So not just only businesses can provide these benefits, even government sector or other na mga organizations, they can provide this voluntary benefits. Depende sa policy ng company. So, reward system, no? So, it's really important not to give rewards, no, for all the efforts that you put in your company. So, companies also provide additional payments and benefits on top of the employees' basic salaries. So, this is in the form of companies' reward system and are given to motivate employees as they perform their tasks. So the reward system um, serves as the motivator factor of the employees to improve their job or to perform their tasks, no? So I already indicated this one. So the reward system can be in a contingent pay. So when we say contingent pay, this is a pay scheme which is given on top of the basic pay rate and is based on the employee's performance, competencies, contributions, and skills. Contingent pay can be applied to individuals or groups. So number one is we have the individual contingent pay, and this can be implemented along the 5 schemes. We have the pay for performance scheme, pay for competencies, contributions, skills, and service. So first is the pay for performance scheme. So an employee is given a bonus based on the performance. Like the bonus should be based on your performance, like how well is your performance with the company. So this motivates employees to do better or to perform better with their jobs. However, the disadvantage of this is that the basis for providing the reward may be subjective. So, dito na yung favoritism. No? May iba na, favorite niya si ganitong employee. So, siya lang yung binibigyan ng pay for performance. So, dapat, yung company, no, kailangan meron silang good performance management system that relies on the quality and not the quantity of work. Kasi aanhin mo yung maraming work pero low naman yung quality, no, kaysa sa quality na work. So, importante pa rin yung quality. And another, competency. Like, it is based on your knowledge, skills, and abilities that employees have that they apply on the job. So this encourages the enhancement among competencies of the employees. So actually this may be difficult not to assess since they ignore the output levels, like more on employees enhancement, like competencies lang, pero yung output is napapababayaan, which can cause pose negative risk to the company. So take note that the excellent competency framework is required to implement in order to implement this scheme. Kailangan meron talagang excellent na competency framework. Then the pay for contribution, like it focuses on the combination of employee competencies and output levels. So this scheme provides employees the opportunity to simultaneously develop their competencies and increase their output levels. However, this may be difficult to manage because managers will have to assess both the competencies and performance of employees at the same time. So, mahirap talaga na i-manage or i-assess mo yung competencies and at the same time yung performance ng employee. But this is a good thing, as the competency may give additional contribution to the company as well as the performance. So, for the benefit naman ng company yan. And the pay for skills. So the pay for skills depends on the skill acquired by the employee. So here, the it requires a worker to undergo training in order to gain certification for certain skills or competencies. For example, if you are a secretary, then you are told to have a bookkeeping skills or skills for bookkeeping. So you are going to do schooling or to do training for bookkeeping. Then you gain certification, then you will receive no pay for skills. So the advantage of this scheme is that it encourages employees not to learn more skills and avail of trainings no and development. However, this scheme no may be expensive because a company needs to allocate resources for trainings, of course. Also, there is a possibility that an employee may decide to undergo training to acquire skills that are unrelated to his or her position. So, it can cause additional cost lang for the company. Pero I think may mga company na hindi sila nagbibigay ng training for their employees because of ng lack of financial resources or maliit lang yung company or maybe hindi nila yan priority. So that is why some of the companies wait for the opportunity, for some opportunity, no, na libre lang yung training. So, in-encourage nila yung employees nila to attend that free training, no? So, that is a part of the organization also. And lastly, we have the pay for service. So this is usually paid yearly on the basis of an employee's continued service. And this scheme treats all employees equally regardless of performance, skills acquired, or competence level. However, implementing rewards based on length of service fails no, to reward those who contribute more to achieve towards the achievement of the company objectives despite being with the company for only a short period. So, sa pay for service, it's more on the kanang payment no, for the service that you rendered. Ang disadvantage lang dito is if disregarded the performance. So, for example, si employee A, matagal na siya sa kumpanya nito pero wala naman siya gaanong na-contribute for the company. So, binibigyan mo siya ng pay for service kasi matagal na siya. Then, here is employee B. Kahit maliit lang yung time niya na na-employed on this company pero marami siyang nagawa. So, it would be unfair, no, to employee B. 'Di ba? Na si employee A, porket matagal siya, mas advantage siya for this kind of contingent pay. Unlike ni employee B na kahit for a shorter period of time, at least marami siyang nagawa, 'di ba? So, next is the group contingency pay. So, this may be implemented through two schemes. We have the team-based pay and the organization-wide pay. So, the team-based pay is given to groups no, of employees who have related jobs and are assigned to work on a certain project. So, this reward is based on the achievement of a certain quota or service delivery standard. Team base is usually given no, at a rate proportionate to an employee's basic pay. So other companies, however, distribute the pay equally among the team members. So this scheme is effective actually no, for highly cohesive groups kung organized talaga yung groups, no? But this may also spark conflict no, within the team as employees who consider themselves to be contributing more to the achievement of the team are likely to be disappointed if bonuses are divided equally. Kasi parang unfair, di ba? Like, yung iba mong kasama is freeloader. Like, wala namang ginagawa, pero you are sharing the same bonus. Diba? Tapos ikaw lang yung mas maraming effort, tapos yung iba walang ginagawa. Pero, nasi-share kayo ng equal pay. Para din yang sa group activities, no? Like, may ibang kaklase ninyo na grabe talaga yung effort. Grabe yung effort niyo for the activity, pero yung iba is walang naitulong. But since they are part of the group, you are sharing the same grade. So it's unfair, right? Pero kailangan talaga yung collaboration, no? Because not all are gifted enough with the resources. So another is we have the organization-wide pay. So this is given to employees, no, on the basis of achievement of organizational goals. So more on organization, the whole organization talaga. So kanina it's more on the team, like part siya ng organization, but the organization divided the employees into teams just to do this specific tasks, no? So actually, in the organization-wide pay, this can be divided into gain sharing or profit sharing. So when we say gain sharing, it is the bonus and it is based on a bonus plan where employees are encouraged to fully contribute to the company's performance. Gain sharing primarily emphasizes increased productivity and improved performance of employees. The achievements of the company are compared to a set baseline, no? And based on this, the gains of the company are calculated and become the basis for bonuses given to employees, especially when its sales revenue surpass the sales target. And another one is profit sharing. So, ang profit sharing is based on the profit. So the employees here share in the profits of the company, either cash payments or shares of, especially kapag malaki-laki din yung profit na na-earn ng company, di ba? So, the value of the incentive is determined by the management. Yan. Kasi kapag malaki yung profit, syempre, malaki-laki din yung profit sharing, di ba? Kung maliit lang din. So usually the management decides which portion of the profits will be shared with the employees. So that's for the reward system. So hindi lang puro rewards, no? Meron din tayong performance appraisal. In performance appraisal, this is the process on evaluating the employee's performance. So this is also known as the performance review or performance evaluation. So here, the performance appraisal refers to the process where employees' performance is documented and evaluated. So this is done periodically by the company, and management decides on how frequently it is conducted and the means by which employees are evaluated or appraised. So these are the following, no? These are the purposes of performance appraisal. Bakit meron tayong performance evaluation? Importante talaga yung performance evaluation, no? Number one is for needs assessment. This provides relevant information about the specific training needs of employees. So, through performance evaluation, malalaman mo kung ano ba talaga yung need ng employee, kung ano ba yung kailangan i-improve sa kanya so that mabigyan mo siya ng training. And employee movements. So, it helps management decide who will be promoted by providing proof, no, of more meritorious performance. So, take note of this basis, no, for merit increase. Isa din yan sa rason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng performance appraisal. Because yung basis for merit increase, yung performance evaluation or appraisal will serve, no, as strong proof kung deserve ba yung employee na ito to receive merit increase or not. Then, another is legal concerns, no? Kung merong mga questions regarding the certain decisions like pag-termination or the appraisal, no, becomes the basis, no, for justifying such action. Like for example, ito, dalawang employees na lang yung example ko. Employee A at saka si employee B. Si employee A, bata pa, physically fit, pero grabe ka low yung performance niya. Like out of 10, 5.0 lang siya. However, si employee B, matanda na, tapos, um, actually, he can contribute to the company at saka yung performance evaluation niya is 9.0, like near to 10, no? So, yan yung dalawang employee. So, sino yung iti-terminate mo or tatanggalin mo sa kumpanya kapag darating yung time na magte-terminate talaga? Yung si employee A na physically fit, batang-bata, pero 5/10 yung performance niya, or si employee B na may katandaan na pero kaya pa naman, pero 9/10 yung performance niya. Sino yung pipiliin nyo? Ang tatanggalin ko is si employee A. Tatanggalin ko siya kasi poor yung evaluation performance niya. 'Di ba? So, meron siyang justification, no? Kung sino yung tatanggalin ko or sino yung magi-stay for the company. 'Di ba? So, the result of the appraisal is also used, no, to address issues on rewards, layoff, and employee transfer. Yun. Kanina, yung example ko si employee A at saka si employee B. 'Di ba? Then the development, no, a series of performance appraisals that tracks the growth of employees, like nag-improve ba yung employees with regards of the performance evaluation. And the appraisal here will serve, no, as evidence, no, for identifying career paths and determining personnel development. Another is for channel of communication. So this is actually a good venue, no, for discussion regarding the performance and other issues between an employee and his or her immediate supervisor. So the appraisal here becomes an avenue for ironing out differences and articulating certain career concerns or questions with regards on performance ratings. Kasi meron din cases, no, na yung performance rating ng binibigay ng supervisor will be biased, no, bias. And again, the performance evaluation, no, is based talaga on subjective na judgment. So what if hindi ka nagustuhan ng boss mo, although you are performing well, pero hindi ka talaga gusto ng boss mo. So kahit gaano ka pa kagaling, kung ganyan yung boss mo, very subjective, maliit talaga yung i-rate niya na performance sa'yo. So using the performance appraisal, malalaman natin kung meron bang issues na nangyari between the employee and his or her immediate supervisor. So, ganun. And source of motivation. Depende din yan sa employee, no? If you take your performance evaluation as motivation to do better or to improve yourself more, no? So, this is one of the best ways to keep employees, no, motivated. It is one way to boost employee morale and encourage them to make a good impression and give an outstanding performance in their job. So that is, no, how performance appraisal can be the source of motivation. So actually, there are methods in conducting performance appraisal. It could be objective, no, using objective method, which includes measures of actual output and performance tests. This is actually good, no, method in conducting performance appraisal. So performance test evaluates an employee using a test, a set of standardized conditions. So It is based actually on your performance test. And we have also the judgmental methods like including the ranking and rating techniques. So, ang pagkakaiba ng ranking at saka yung ranking techniques is yung employees is kino-compare siya sa other employees. So, nire-rank niya like sino yung top employees natin. Si employee A, siya yung number 1. Si employee B, siya yung number 2. Yun, nire-rank nila. At saka meron ding rating technique. Ito yung pinaka-common. No? Like you use this technique to measure the characteristics of an employee and also his or her job performance. So merong performance evaluation na nagagamit ng rating. No? And usually yung mga nagre-rate is yung peer mo, like katrabaho mo. Pero common talaga is yung immediate supervisor yung nagre-rate. No, immediate supervisor. So dapat you have to build good relationship with your immediate supervisor, no? So another here is the 360-degree feedback. So this is a performance appraisal technique which has become popular in recent years. In this technique, supervisors are not the only evaluators. And other people may also evaluate the employees. Ito na, no, na hindi lang talaga yung supervisors. Pwede din ikaw mismo employee, you can rate your supervisor. Or pwede din yung mga colleagues mo or yung mga peers mo, they can rate you. No? They can rate your performance. So actually, this is a good method which can give a comprehensive evaluation of all personal aspects of the employees. Like the personality, his or her performance, the outcomes of the work. So yun, depende lang yan sa aspect na kino-consider for the performance evaluation. Then, employee movement. Ito na yung sinabi ko kanina na yung employee movement is about the demotion or promotion of the employee in the company. So it can be vertical movements, like it entails the movement of an employee from a lower position to a higher one. So in vertical movements, dito pwedeng promotion or demotion. Sa horizontal movement, transfer lang of an employee to another department or position with similar responsibilities or status. For example, sa horizontal movement, you work as a secretary in branch A. No, branch A, like Iligan branch. Pero transfer ka sa Cagayan branch. Pero the same lang yung work mo. Secretary. So, yan ang example ng horizontal movement. No? So, transfer ka lang to another department or position with similar responsibilities or status. For example, yung in-example ko kanina, like from Iligan branch, transfer ka sa Cagayan branch, pero the same lang yung position. We have here the promotion, no? This is one of the vertical movement. Like you are promoted to top or you move to a higher level or position. So actually, meron namang mga different criteria yung companies, no, for promotions. The usual criterion is the combination of tenure and meritorious performance. Pag sinabi natin tenure, like number of years in service. So, importante talaga yung seniority. So, and another thing is the meritorious performance, like based on the excellent or outstanding performance of an employee. And kabaliktaran ng promotion is yung demotion. Like you move from a lower level position. Like from the upper position, na-demote ka. Maybe because of your poor performance or inefficiency, no? Or grabe yung pag-drop ng evaluation mo. So, kaya dinemote ka. Or pwede din sa demotion is may nagawa kang kasalanan, char. No, instead of terminating you, they give you a chance to stay in the company pero dinemote ka lang. Like, you move to a lower level of position. So, yan yung sa demotion. Then, transfer, ito is horizontal, di ba? Horizontal movement. Like, you move to another position but the same lang yung level or scope of responsibility. So, pwede rin transfer to another branch, the same sa example ko kanina, or location. But the employee, no, still occupies on the same task. The same lang yung task. In some case, an employee may have on other position but the level is still the same. No? So, yan yung transfer. Then, separation, no? Actually, yung separation ng employee can be taken in the following forms. Pwede mag-resign, like resignation. When we say resignation, alis na talaga sa company. Or separation with authorized cause, like tinerminate ka dahil nalulugi na yung company, for example, ganyan. Or sumobra lang yung workers. Or separation with just cause, like mayroon kang ginawang kasalanan, kaya siniparate ka. Or retirement, no? Like matanda ka na, like naabot ka na sa 60 years old, so magre-retire ka na. No? So sinabi ko kanina, yung resignation, depende kasi yan sa empleyado. Yung empleyado is nagre-resign or aalis sa company. No, decided to leave the organization. So the usual reasons for employee resignation is to look for better opportunities, like for greener pastures, maybe in other companies, and avail of higher salaries and benefits. So yan yung sa resignation, like aalis ka na sa organization or company na ito. Then, separation with authorized cause, like layoff. Like, tatanggalin ka na sa trabaho because of the business reasons, like mataas na yung cost nila for labor, so kailangan na nila magtanggal ng trabaho, or poor yung performance mo, pwede ganyan, no? So, one of the more common reasons is redundancy, yung sinabi ko na may mga technology na papalit na sa trabaho ng isang labor, no? So, the new technology will duplicate some of the existing functions of the certain jobs. Then, another is separation with cause. This occurs when an employee is terminated due to theft. Yun yung may kasalanan ka na ginawa sa company. No? Theft, fraud, and other serious offenses. Dito, wala kang separation pay. Yung separation with authorized cause, meron kang separation pay na marireceive. Dito, wala. Kasi may kasalanan ka, hatagan pa ka. Ano kasi siniswerte, no? So, in this case, the employee does not receive any severance pay from the company. Apart from being terminated from the company, an employee who was found to have committed grave offenses may also subjected to legal sanctions. So, pwede ka makulong. Pwede ka rin i-add as blacklist. So, kahit saan kumpanya ka na mag-apply, iba-blacklist ka. So, yan yung disadvantage kapag may nagawa kang kasalanan or grave offenses towards the company or organization. Then retirement, no? This refers to the end of a worker's employment with a company due to old age, illness, or infirmity. So, wala namang prescribed age, no, for retirement. Pero commonly, mga companies is they set the normal retirement age for employees, no, at 60 years old. However, meron din mga companies that they set the retirement age at 65. Meron din, no, sa sundalo. Yung sa sundalo is 55 yung retirement nila. So, the retiring employee is given a retirement package as mandated by law, along with other voluntary benefits from the company. So that's more on the employee movement. So let's move on with the employee relations. Effective employee relations management is an essential component that contributes to the success of the company. And these are the following elements that are considered in establishing and maintaining good employee relations. You have the drive for commitment, like fostering good relationships between the management and employees. Then another is harmonization of terms and conditions of employment, like the management should ensure, no, that employees are provided good work conditions and benefits as stated in their employment contracts. And the emphasis on mutuality, like management must be inclusive and employees must feel that managers are also important of the work team. So there is a mutual benefit between the managers and the employees. And also the policies and practices for communication, like it's more on honest and clear communication between employees and management. So that is actually a vital component, no, of labor relations or employee relations. So we have here also the labor union and collective bargaining. So employees have the option to form labor unions. Pwede naman kayo mag-form ng labor unions as long as marami kayo, 'di ba? Hindi ka pwede na ikaw lang mag-isa, no, na mag-form ng labor union. So the purpose of this is to have collective bargaining or mutual aid, interest, and cooperation and protection. Yan yung collective bargaining. So in collective bargaining, this is the process by which the labor union negotiates a labor contract, no, with the management. So mag-involve na ito ng collective bargaining agreement, which contains agreements on compensation, benefits, duties of employees and management, work hours, job security, and etc. So take note, in the Philippines, labor unions are classified either public sector unions or private sector. So sa public sector unions or government employees unions, they are organized by employees within the government institutions. So yan yung public sector unions. Sa private sector union naman, yung members ng union, no, are employed in commercial, industrial, religious, and educational institutions, like more on private. Hindi siya government agency. So that's the difference. So we have here workers association. So employee organization established for the mutual aid, protection, and other legitimate purposes, but not for the purpose of collecting bargaining. Like, merong mga workers associations to establish na for mutual aid, but not more on labor union or collective bargaining. So, ano ba yung collective bargaining, no? As I've said, it is a process by which the labor union negotiates a labor contract with the management. And this labor contract is the collective bargaining agreements. Like, the collective bargaining agreements includes agreements, no, on compensation, benefits, duties of employees and management, work hours, job security, promotion, layoffs, vacation and rest periods, and the grievance procedure should there be violations to the labor contract. So, for example, yung company is na-violate niya yung isa sa agreement na between the labor union and the company. So, pwede makasuhan yung company. No? So, importante talaga yung collective bargaining agreement. So, paano ba, no, mag-form ng union? So, kung kayo in the future, merong mga mapang-api na employer, so pwede kayo mag-form ng union. So, in forming a union or workers association, it should be voluntary act, no, on the part of employee. Hindi siya dapat
pugsanay or sapilitan, 'di ba? So it should be voluntary. So the employees themselves may take the initiatives, no, and organize themselves into union, or maybe they could be assisted, no, by the outside organizations. So take note, yung mga nasa managerial positions, yung mga executive, hindi talaga sila pwede na gumawa ng labor union, like sila yung magiging member ng labor union, because it could cause conflict of interest, no? Conflict of interest na siya. So if you notice, yung mga nasa labor union, yun talaga yung mga empleyado lang yun. Diba? Wala namang member ng labor union yung nasa mga managerial position. No? So, kapag na-establish na yung union, pwede na din sila ma-register sa Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE. So, once negotiations between the union and management produce a collective bargaining agreement, so kailangan din yan i-register sa DOLE. Kasi anything will happen between the management and the labor union, the DOLE can intervene, no, to settle the issues or the potential issues. So we have here the employee code of conduct. This is really important for the company. Kailangan mayroong employee code of conduct. So the code of conduct rather defines the acceptable behavior of employees within the workplace. The code of conduct is considered a legal agreement between the company and the employee that he or she will observe ethical workplace conduct at all times. The code of conduct is also included in the employee's handbook, and its contents are relayed to the employee in the orientation. Codes of conduct may be varied, no? It may be varied from one industry to another. But there are some essential contents, no? And these are the following. So it includes prohibition of illegal activities such as gambling, smoking, or drinking. Kasi delikado yan, no? Delikado yan para sa image ng company. Then also prohibition of discrimination against gender, race, religion, and civil status. So dapat meron talagang equal employment opportunity, or meron talagang code of conduct regarding sa discrimination. And also sexual harassment. Ito uso to sa workplace kasi may mga taong mapagsamantala. And this is actually true, ha? Kasi may mga organizations or company na nag-involve ng sexual harassment, like yung supervisor, hinaras niya yung employee. Siyempre, yung employee, she has no choice, no? But because her boss told her to do so. So, merong mga sexual harassment na nangyayari, diba? And that is common issue, no? Even in the government organizations, like merong mga harassment na nangyayari in the company. Then also mga confidentiality and disclosure of confidential information, it should be considered as part of the employee code of conduct. And also yung dress code and appearance. Kung sinabi na magsuot ng uniform, dapat ito talaga na uniform ang susuotin, so that you would be part of the company. So as you notice, may mga companies, no, na they are wearing proper dress code, no, and appearance. Kasi kung hindi sila magsusuot ng proper dress code, parang hindi sila part ng company, di ba? Or para silang not employee or not part of the management. Then, punctuality. Importante yan. Tardiness and absence. So, as employee, we should be responsible, no? We should take note of the punctuality. So, kaya nga yung mga organizations or mga company, kapag late, merong kaltas sa sweldo. So, that is a mechanism, no, that would motivate you to come, no, on time. Then, kapag mag-absent ka, kailangan meron kang magpa-file ka ng leave, no? So, hindi dapat pwede na mag-absence without leave or awol ka. So you have to practice this one. And procedures for sick leaves and emergency leaves. As I've said, hindi pwede na mag-absent ka without leave. So, kailangan mong, you have to follow the procedures for sick leaves and emergency leaves. And this is actually true, no? Di ba kapag sick leave, you are going to apply sick leave when you are sick. May mga employees is they pretended na meron silang sakit just to obtain the sick leave para maka-absent sa work, no? Kahit wala naman silang sakit, 'di ba? So this should be part of the employee code of conduct. Then sanctions, no, for violations of the code of conduct. Kailangan nyo rin yan i-specify. So what are the general steps, no, in the disciplinary process through human resource department? So actually, disciplinary actions are taken, no, to address misconduct in the workplace or any type of violations against the company rules. The disciplinary process is often included in the employee's contracts or is given as part of the job orientation. So in order to properly assess the nature of the alleged violation or misconduct, the disciplinary process follows these steps. First is identify the employee who committed the violation. No? So for example, if you have a colleague that is being sexually harassed, so kailangan mong i-identify as part of the human resource department, no? Kailangan mo i-identify kung sino yung employee na nag-commit ng violation. What if yung co-colleagues nyo rin or the other employee? Then you have to identify the violations being committed, for example, sexual harassment. No, so that is the violations being committed. Then consult with the department head or the immediate supervisor and make an initial assessment of the violation. Hindi pwede na magsumbong ka agad sa dole diretso. Dapat it should follow the disciplinary process. Hindi rin naman pwede na magsumbong ka sa kang Kuya Rafi with regards of this. Dapat you have to do this kind, no, of disciplinary process. Then after you do the consultation, you have to set a meeting with the department head or the immediate supervisor and the employee that is being subject to violation. And you have to ensure that the employee is provided with due process. So ano ba yung due process? Yung due process upholds, no, ensures a fair and impartial hearing, no, on employee's violation or a management decision which threatens an employee's tenure or status of employment. Kailangan talaga ng fair and impartial hearing, no, with regards to employee's violation. So yan yung due process. So kailangan siya mag-undergo ng due process. And you have to plan and discuss the corrective actions with the department head or immediate supervisor. Hindi naman pwede na tanggalin mo agad-agad, tanggalin mo diretso, or ipapliso mo diretso, ganun. So it should undergo with the disciplinary process. Pero depende din yan sa size of offenses or violations. So kung malaki-laki talaga yung violations, mas grabe talaga na corrective action ang maaring mangyari. Or worse, you will be subjected to legal sanctions. Yun. So I think this ends our discussion about the nature of staffing. I hope that you learned a lot about staffing. So once again, a pleasant day to everyone.